when you have one manager with a lot of great talent, with a lot of champions, a lot of great talent, this is how it ends up being. I got to be this honest. And I'd said for a long time, because remember Justin Gaethje and a couple other guys were trying to get fights with Conor McGregor. And I said, like, if you want to be a jerk, knowing that Conor McGregor is the money fight, and if Conor wanted to be the jerk, all he had to do was say, hey, if you're managed by Ali, I'm not going to fight you. There's no reason for me to fight you. I'm not going to give you the chance or the opportunity. With the Khabib fight, he had to, because Khabib was the champion. So I understood that you're fighting for the title. That's different than if you're fighting, like, if he was going to fight, somebody else that was managed by him, Justin Gaethje or whoever else was managed by him. He could simply just say, like, no, I'm not fighting you. Like, there was talk of him possibly fighting Usman. Well, he could have said, like, no, if you're managed by Ali, then you can just sit on the side and, you can lose millions of dollars because you're not fighting me. And Conor still, regardless, has that clout to do that. But with Ali right now can do that with ESPN. With ESPN being the platform they are, they can give two shits.
Exactly.
But I'm gonna give Ali. I'm gonna tell Ali, and this is what I had said to Javier Mendez for years. For years, I tried to tell him to do this probably over 10 years ago. Do not do interviews with anyone. Do your own AKA interviews. And if fighters or media have questions, then you have them email you them and you'd film them there. And whatever questions the fighters wants to answer, they answer, and you put it out on your social media network and let them come there and get the answers. There's no reason for you to do this. This is how you build your platform. Ali is doing the right thing because he doesn't get along with Ariel, and Ariel has ways of twisting words and changing things around and doing whatever it is that,
shocking. Yeah,
of course, shocking. But that's media, though. Before we dig into Ariel too much, okay? That's media in general. It doesn't matter. I've been through it from way back. I loved Sherdog and those guys, but they did it occasionally to me as well. Some other guys had done it from some other. Ariel's done it to me several times. Just simply put, like, if you guys want to do something, Ali needs to start his own, whether it's a YouTube channel or whether it's a platform of his own media network. Have them do interviews with their own people and then put it up on their own website, and ESPN can go there and get the information. ESPN or other, USA Today and all these other news networks can go to that media source and get what's going on. And then it comes strictly from them and they can regulate it. When you've got guys that are managed by him, when you've got this many champions, when you've got this many young up-and-comers coming up, I got to tell you, I don't see a reason why he couldn't do that. And I said that for years, back before Kane and DC and everybody was there at AK. I was telling Javier to start this, and he's just starting stuff now. And I was like, you could have been way ahead of the game. You know what I mean? But this is an opportunity for Ali to potentially do something that no other manager has been able to do or has not tried to do. Start a news network that's around your fighters. And if people want interviews, then they go through you. Like, they go through you, specifically through you. Now, the UFC may jump in bomb and say, hey, you can't do this, this, and that. But yes, actually, he can, and he should. I mean, you don't want to piss Dana off too much, but you got to make...
You are not going to piss Dana off by taking interviews away from
Ariel Helwani.
Let's just put that one out there right now.
Yeah, that's true. Very true.
That's not going to
bother
He's not even allowed
Dana in the building. He's not even allowed in the building. So. What's your take on it?
First off, the media is hard to deal with. All right, I did a tweet the other day. Someone asked me a question, and the question was over the Max Holloway Volkanovski fight, and the judge. They named the judge, and I'm not going to bring up the name, but they named us that specific judge. And so I said, look, my answer was the UFC. Pays for the judge to be transported. They pay for testing for COVID. They pay for a room. They pay the person for their services. If they are unhappy in this situation at Fight Island, they don't have an athletic commission. They are the ones running this. They're their own regulator here. Now they're using the British MMA Council for the inspectors and things like that, but UFC is the one that hires everyone for this. So if they're not happy, because Dana came out saying he wasn't happy with the judging, he wasn't happy with some things that happened in the reffing, and if you're not happy with it, you can get rid of him. Now he did that once before and it bit him in the butt. So I said, they employ him. That if you don't have a good performance for your employer, your employer can always get rid of you. Let's see what they do. And that was basically the words that I used. Next thing I know, you get reporters that write articles for websites off of a tweet.
Yeah.
And the headline says John McCarthy pushes for UFC to remove judge, and it's like, where did you come up with that? And I went and I talked to the reporter, said, hey, I didn't say that. And he says, oh, well, that's the way I took it. Doesn't matter how you take it.
Yeah.
But this is what happens is you can say something and then they're going to do what they think can push their story, get people to click on it, get all those views. They're not into the truth because, as you would say, you can always put that retraction later on in the back page that no one sees and say, oh, I'm sorry, I was wrong. And it's a problem. So like you're saying, you have to control your image, your brand. And I think that's what Ali is trying to do for his fighters. He's got someone that he believes is not being fair to his fighters. And it's like, hey, you want to put out stuff that's not true. You want to say these things. My guys aren't going to talk to you. Well, that's just part of being a reporter. You're going to have those times that, people aren't happy with you.
100% agree. Okay.